show you what I think is the most likely trade setups for today. So here we have some sort of in the indexes, we have the S&P 500 having some sort of push and shove, up, down, down, up, down, sideways consolidation crap around this little short squeeze point here. The Dow, the large caps have already pierced it and pulled back. So the Dow Jones is stronger than the S&P 500. The NQ is a little weaker. These are all looking like almost certainly they're going to test this high here, which you can't quite see, but just a little bit above here. It's highly likely that we just limp our way into that before we paint either a pullback or a more substantial pullback. I don't have an opinion on that. The other things that are interesting are crude oil. Let's look at this bad boy. So we have an up move, a pullback that's gone down, stopped going down, and there's kind of a trend liney thing here that we've breached, and we have a single day small range pullback. Now this small range pullback indicates that it's probably going to have another go, that it's probably going to keep going. The pullback has a long lower wick in comparison, which means that the pullback has been bought, which is what you would expect after a move like that. So this is probably a high probability intraday trade. Natural gas, uptrend, but it's a bit choppy here. Not the worst, not the best. And the one that's really interesting is the US dollar index has stopped going down. We have the close of 95 and the open of 95.080. So we have a micro gap, open at the lows, close at the highs, expanded range. This one is a high probability of continuation today. So anything dollar index related is probably going to be pretty cool. So let's have a look at that. Let's have a look at the currencies overall, and then so first up, Aussie dollar went down, came up, retested its breakout level, fell off the plate. This is interesting because the New Zealand dollar was weaker. Now the New Zealand dollar is still weak, but stronger than that. Cable, this one could retest before it goes down, or it could fall off. But it looks like the probability is that we're going to end up somewhere at least down here. USD CAD is a bit more interesting. So what we have here is an up move, a choppy down move, and arguably a completed retest. So USD CAD for intraday longs should go on your radar from here. Euro USD, I would be happier after a retest before getting involved again. This one is not quite, it might work, but it's not quite the high probability thing that I'm looking for. USD JPY looks like a high probability of intraday continuation. Let's have a look at the metals. Okay, so gold is the leader in this field. We have some signs of downside capitulation and a decent move off the lows, but this move off the lows is weakened. This bar is shorter range than this bar, shorter range and more overlap, shorter range again and more overlap, and a shooting star. The odds were high it was going to paint a down move. The real question is, does it go down, retest, and then go up, or does it just run away? Now, we're going to get the answer to that probably today. If this down move is not an increased range, the odds are high that we're going to paint a bottom and then at least have a go at painting a trading range. We see the same thing across the board here. It's a little more bullish in palladium. You can see how we didn't get much of a down move. We didn't even break the daily low. So objective, and copper as well. So here copper, we have a completed retest of the lows. If we break this high, that would be a good reason to start getting long copper. These are all not quite ready. They're setting up in a day or two. So now let's look at the 4-hour system. The rules of our system are we need one of these two markets to be going down. So it's going down on the daily, going down on the weekly, and going down on the 60 and going down on the 240. This is exactly what we're looking for. So we're looking for a pullback to around here. That's probably going to happen soon. In 8-12 hours, we're good to go. Any setups in that you can take. Now I've been taking, I took this one short yesterday instead of the Aussie dollar, but the Aussie dollar worked better. But that's life. Let me show you what it looks like on. I've already banked. I banked some profits at 1.5R because it was quite speculative. So what I did is I banked profits at 1.5R and I initiated a 1R trailing stop per my rules. This is my 1R trailing stop. This is my buy price. I have 4 out of 6 contracts left. That's probably going to get stopped out. I don't care. That'll be a 1.83R win if it gets stopped out. No big deal. Okay, so let's look at USD JPY. Okay, this one needs a pullback, and this is spike and channel. This is inherently fragile. I wouldn't be looking at that until you get kind of a fall off the plate pullback to here. USD CAD. Not bad actually, but we have no setups. The setup was a little while ago, and that was a bit too speculative. Cable. What do we have? Not quite ready for prime time here. Not quite ready for prime time. This is one to. This is just a little bit too speculative. Euro USD. The moving averages aren't lined up yet, so this would be a very speculative trade. I'd stand aside from that today. What did I like? Gee. So, natural gas, you can see down here we have an uptrend. We have an uptrend on the 240. We just have an uptrend on the 60. And I have a buy order on this retest of the lows, which it appears to have done me a very solid favor and not triggered me on my buy limit order, on my stop limit order. Maybe there's some weirdness in data here. Anyway, if price recovers to there, that would be a completed retest, and I'd want to be on that. But if I look at the big picture of this market, there's a lot of resistance just a little bit above. So I'm doing this for a 1.5R limit exit. The other one worth looking at is crude. So crude, we have this really nice up move, pullback. If we break the highs here, it's probably going to go off to the races, and any pullback after that is probably worth taking. You can see if you're trading the 1 hour charts, you have this pullback retest here, you have this pullback retest here, you have a breakout retest here. There's been setups galore. Crude is definitely a market to keep an eye on for today. Okay guys, that's about it. Really enjoy your trading day.